So you've probably been having sex. It's been months, maybe 6 or even a year, and you're still not pregnant. And now you're worried, you're stressed that there might be something wrong with you. But hey, do not make such conclusion yet until you've watched this video to the very end and try all the tips that I'll be sharing with you. Because you see, I was in this boat some months ago. Like, I was nearly convinced that there was something wrong with me. In fact, scratch that. I was convinced totally that there was something wrong with me until I tried out these tips and this secret product that I'm going to share with you. But just before we continue, let me give the disclaimer so that I don't get in trouble with YouTube that this video is mainly for informational purposes. Okay, you are still obliged to take your medical advice from your doctor before you try them out. And also, I encourage you guys to please subscribe to this YouTube channel. It is dedicated mostly for mothers out there, to be mothers out there. I have videos lined up for you guys, the 9-month journey, because I'm very sure you will get pregnant after watching this video and trying these tips. And do drop your comments, whatever you're going through. I want to be here for you. We can talk it out and see how we can sort it out. Okay, let's get right into the video. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Through My Eyes, and today we will be talking about how to get pregnant. You see, when this topic is mentioned, some couples get tense, women get stressed, especially where I'm from. Like, the stress is too much. It's a societal stress. Everybody, once you get married, everybody are looking at you, they are counting days, they are counting years for you, then watching your stomach, they are watching your action. Simple questions. Your intention might be true, but we can all agree that this stresses us out. It stressed me out. And you see, I discovered one thing, that women that do not get stressed about getting pregnant get pregnant faster than women that actually stress about it. So the first thing we'll be doing is eliminating that stress, because stress, the cortisol body releases when the stress is not good for your fertility at all. Is one of the things that hinders you. You see, stress fights the luteinizing hormones, which is responsible for ovulation, that is hindering you from getting pregnant. So first, we are going to eliminate that stress, and we will do it together. So I'm a bit under the weather, but we're gonna do this. So we're going to breathe in through our nose, hold it, and release. Oh my God, I feel light already. I don't know what you do to relieve your stress, but I do this countless of times when I'm stressed, and the stress just goes away. I sing, I do all sort of things, but this mostly works for me like immediately. So guys, do whatever works for you. What are the steps that you're supposed to take when you are trying to get pregnant? Number one is medication. A lot of us are taking medication for so many alignments at the moment, and one of the first things you should do is talk to your doctor about alternate medication, or letting them verify if the medication that you're taking might pose any sort of harm to you or your baby or the process at all. Still on medication, obviously you should stop. If you were taking any contraceptive at all, you should stop, and notice that if you do stop, it is still going to take you about 3 months before you can get pregnant. And the third thing you should do is prenatal vitamin. I know a lot of women tend to wait till they are pregnant, till they find out that they are pregnant before they start taking this prenatal vitamin. And today I'm telling you, you should start now. Why? Not just that this prenatal vitamin good for the development of your child, folic acid, iron, and vitamin D have been found by so many studies to have helped women boost their fertility. because a lot of us, we get pregnant and we lose the baby before we even know that we were pregnant. So you should start now to take the prenatal vitamin, because you see, the folic acid is very beneficial for child defects, because the first thing that develops in a baby is the brain before every other thing comes up. Okay, so the fourth thing you should do is your exercise. If you're someone that exercises a lot, runs a lot, I would advise that you minimize the rate of your exercise. If you were running, change it to walking, just tone it down a bit. And the fourth thing is to maintain a healthy weight. So now to the main event, how to get pregnant. You see, I know we know the formal story. We egg mix sperm and boom, there's a baby. But there is so much to it that you can use to your advantage. So let's start from the beginning. You see, women, we are born with primary oocyte, that is our egg already made in when we're babies. So there are about 1 million of these eggs that we have, but for some unknown reason, we are left with just about 300,000, 200,000, the number for said before we get to puberty. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to say that from now henceforth, and I'm going to show you how we're going to make all of our eggs count. And how do we do this? Our ovulation. Ovulation is the time where we get fertilized and we do get pregnant when we have sex. This is our fertile period. But the span is very short, because this is when the egg is at the fallopian tube, a place known as the ampulla. It's there waiting for the sperm, and if the sperm does not come in time, it moves, and the next thing, our menses is here. So I am going to show you how you can calculate your menstrual cycle, how you can calculate and know when your ovulation is going to happen, because a lot of women do not know how to calculate this. I did not know it myself. I struggle a lot, and I use this app known as the Lady Timer. It shows you everything. It really helps, and I'm going to drop the link in my description so that you can download it. And for those that know how to calculate this, you can also check my description. You see the timestamp, so you can move on to another topic that we will be discussing about. But I am still going to show you manually how to calculate your ovulation, because it is very important. A lot of women miss their ovulation because it comes when they are still menstruating. When it comes to our menstrual cycle, no two women are the same. That's why we have the standard, which is 28 days. We have the short, which is 21 days, not lesser than that, note. And there is the long days, which is 35 days and maybe extended to 45 days in young adult. The standard, long and short. How do you know which one is yours? You see, the first day your period starts, whether it is just spotting or you're seeing bleeding, on that first day, that marks the beginning of your cycle. And when you see your period next, maybe it's next month, that marks the end of that cycle and the beginning of a new one. So practically, let's see how that works. Let's say your period started on Friday the 1st. It started and finished, and when next you're seeing your period, it starts in the same month, 28. That means the length of your cycle is 28 days. 28 days is the length of your cycle. So let's try something shorter. You see, the shorter one is where it gets tricky, and when I'll be talking about ovulation, and we'll look at that. So let's say it started on Friday the 1st, and on Thursday, the same one, 21st, you see your next period. That means this cycle, the length of your cycle is 21 days. So let's try something else, something much longer. Now let's say your cycle started here again, the 1st, and it takes much longer before you see your next cycle, which let's say is next month. And the next thing you see in your cycle here on Thursday, when you count that, you see that the length of your cycle is 35 days. And this brings me to another topic: regular menstrual cycle and irregular menstrual cycle. You see, in regular menstrual cycle, just like we calculated, let's say you saw your menstrual cycle when you calculated in the first month was 28 days, and when you calculate it again next month, it's 28 days. It keeps going like that. But in irregular menstrual cycle, the opposite happens. It's unpredictable. You saw this month your menstrual cycle was 28 days. When you're calculating it next month, it's 21 days. You calculate it another month, it's 35 days. You see, it keeps fluctuating, and you can't even pinpoint when it's going to happen next, or when your ovulation is going to happen next. My advice when you see this is probably seek out your doctor, because sometimes regular menstruation is a sign that your body is trying to tell you something, or sometimes it's nothing. It does not mean you will not get pregnant. You will get pregnant, and what you should do to increase your chances is to have sex at least 2 to 3 times in a week. And also talk to your doctor. If that does not work, talk to your doctor about this medication, clomiphene, citrate, clomid. This medication helps forces the hands of your menstrual cycle for you to ovulate more and increase the chance of you getting pregnant. So talk to your doctor about this medication. Our menstrual cycle evolves majorly around these two main phases: the follicular phase, where the follicle stimulating hormones matures the primordial follicles around the oocytes, and the luteal phase, where high concentration of estrogen stimulate the release of luteinizing hormones that triggers ovulation, the main thing that we're talking about. So let's see how we calculate this. You see, unfortunately our follicular phase is not constant, so we are going to use the constant factor, which is the luteal phase, that always happen within our ovulation, which always happen within the first 14 days of our menstrual cycle. We use it on any menstrual cycle. We have the long, the short to calculate and know and pinpoint when exactly our ovulation is going to happen. So to calculate our fertile and ovulation days, we are going to use this formula here: length of cycle, which can be 28, 30, 35, whichever cycle uses, minus the luteal phase days, which is a constant 14. Yeah. Excuse my 14, okay? So let's say your length of cycle is 28 days. That would be minus 14, which is equal to 14. So with this number, when is your ovulation day? Your ovulation day would be on the 15th. This is where your ovulation is going to happen. We have sex from the 12th, 13th, and 14th. The probability of you getting pregnant is very high. Like I am going to repeat again, you should not wait until this day on the 15th to have sex. But if you must have sex in the morning of this. So let's say your menstrual cycle is 21 days. That will be 21 minus 14, which is equal to 7. So your ovulation day in this case will be 8. And from the 5th to 8, you are most fertile, and your pregnancy probability rate is very high. You see, 21 day cycle is when it gets tricky, because let's say you're menstruating from 1, 2, 3, 4 days or 5 days. you are likely to even ovulate while you're still menstruating. And I know a lot of people, it's gross to have sex while you're menstruating. Yeah, I understand that, but you should know this, that some people may be menstruating while they're ovulating or while they're fertile. So let's clean this and try a longer date. I saw somewhere where someone said that 14 was no matter the cycle that you always have for your menstrual cycle on the 14th day. And I stand to be corrected that that is wrong. So let's see 35. 35. Oh my god, this just started. Okay, that went terrible. Let me clean it. 35. Okay. That's better. Minus 14. That will be equal to 21. That makes your ovulation day 22. From 19 to 22, you are most fertile. You can do this so further. So, like, it does not matter whatever your cycle is, just minus it from that number, and you will have your ovulation day. I know we now know when our ovulation is going to happen, but to increase your chances at getting pregnant, do not wait for that ovulation date to happen. I told you it's a short span of time, so the best thing to do is have sex days to your ovulation, maybe 2 to 3 days to your ovulation. But if you must have sex on your ovulation day, make sure it's as early in the morning, like 5 a.m. When I'm going to talk about gender, I'm going to mention this again. And have sex 2 to 3 times a week. I'm saying this again. And after having sex, do not rush to go wash yourself up. You can lay down there or just sleep it off, okay? Give the sperm time to get to its destination before you start walking around and shaking the sperm out of you. And that's it. So now you know how to calculate your menstrual cycle and you know when your ovulation is going to happen. The next question is, when should you have sex? You see, a lot of people, they go about having sex every day and they're like, oh, I've tried everything I could. How come I'm not still pregnant? Listen to this. I know you want to increase your chance as much as you can, but the best thing you should do is have sex 2 to 3 times in a week. Why I'm saying this is because you need the sperm to build up. You need to give the sperm bank time to build up, because you're going to need a lot of sperm cells, as much as you can get to get pregnant. And still on sex, orgasm is somewhat important. To the men, obviously it's important, but a woman also, you having orgasm yourself is going to be also very helpful. It's not compulsory, but you having is like a bonus. You having orgasm is going to help the sperm to swim upwards. And the next I'm going to talk about is the sex positions. Yes, they do matter. The sex position do matter. You need a position whereby gravity is not going to be against you. You need the sperm, when we stand, everything kind of goes down. So you need a style whereby the sperm is going to go far up there to your fallopian tube as much as you can set it there. So I know you youngsters have lots of styles that I can't even start to mention. You know how to go from back to front, upside down, but whatever you're doing, I'm just going to suggest these two that I know, which is the missionary style and the good old doggy style. Yes, they really do help a lot to send the sperm as far as you can get. You see, why I'm stressing on this is that, let's look at this. Our vagina is acidic. It does not welcome any foreign thing at all. It does not like it. So when the sperm cells get it, it's going to kill as much as it can. And when you stand up, you're sending most of them away too. So, and when the sperm manage to go up there to the fallopian tube, it also needs, like, it needs an army to go there, because your egg is not going to make it easy for you to just get in and boom, you're pregnant. No, your egg cells is going to give it, your oocyte is going to give it a lot of job to do. They have, let me not even go into the science part, but just know they have a lot of jobs to do before they can succeed to get their way in and you're pregnant. So this is what I'm stressing on this, the styles and all that. Yes. And the next thing we'll be talking about is men. Yes, I know the society always put everything on women concerning getting pregnant and all that, but men, please, you guys also have a role to play concerning self-care and how to get your spouse pregnant. So what should you do? I see a lot of men wear tight underwears, tight pants, they are in hot saunas, they are in hot tubs, keeping their laptops on their laps. Please stop doing all of that. You see, nature kept your balls hanging outside for a reason, because sperm cells in that sac cannot survive your body temperature, neither cannot survive something hot. So please avoid wearing tight shorts, tight underwears. You're doing yourself more harm than good. I know it's fashionable, but you're harming those little ones in there by doing that. And stop keeping laptops on your laps. And the next thing that we'll be looking at is your diet. Things you should avoid and things you should take. One, you should avoid the intake of alcohol, smoking. They are not helping you at all. And even if you do get pregnant, you are going to be doing some harm to that baby of yours. Please do avoid the intake of caffeine. I know we take a lot of coffee here, especially in the cold era. We take a lot of coffee. Please, if you're taking like 5 a day, reduce it to 2 at the most. Take a whole grain meal, fish, vegetables, all those stuffs are very, very good in boosting your fertility. And finally, to the secret product that I've been talking about. Here is it. One moment. I opened it because I wanted to use this, but I said let me show you guys. It's important. So this is a product I use. It's called Yoni Pearls. This is what it looks like this. So you insert this part, you insert this part up inside your vagina, and you keep this side hanging, you know, like these tampons that we used to use. It's just the same concept. You put this in, so you can put it in food for like a day and then just draw it out. Let me warn you, you are going to see a lot of things that you do not like coming out of your vagina. What it basically does is detox your vagina. This really did help me a lot. This is the secret product I told you guys about. I know so many people have opinions on this Yoni Pearls. They say lots of things, and I'm not here giving, like I said earlier, this is not a medical advice. This is just informational purpose. I'm telling you what worked for me. This worked for me. Like after taking it I'm taking it like in a month, like I had my baby boy. Yes, it's asleep right now, but I'm sure you guys love to. But this is what worked for me, guys. And of course, you can seek further medical advice from your doctor before taking it. And that is it, guys. Thank you for staying all this while with me. Do drop a comment. I would really love to hear from you. I would really love to hear from you. I would really love to hear your testimonial if you do have one, and I hope you do. I am sure you will. Just do when you do have it, come comment, subscribe if you love this video, and I'll be giving you much and much of it. Thank you guys, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.